Hello and welcome back to That's Football. This is the first episode of my daily transfer show. The transfer window opened today, and I cannot tell you how excited I am for this. I am so excited. I've waited so long for this show to happen, and it's transfer season, isn't it? It's exciting times for everyone in football. I've got your comments up on here, so I will constantly be looking that way. They're slightly bigger now, so I can see them better. Today, basically, this show is going to be a slightly more interactive and a slightly more lengthy and in-depth version of Mark's midday show. So Mark's midday show is, of course, a transfer show and a topical video, but it's only about 10 minutes long, 9-10 minutes long, and it's not too interactive. Whereas this show will hopefully, I hope, if I don't run out of steam, go on for about 35 minutes long, maybe. It's going to be very interactive. I'm going to be constantly asking you guys about all your opinions, and if you've got any questions about any transfers or just general football news, then you can get in your comments, and I will be answering them 100%. But transfers is what we are talking about. How's everyone doing, though? How is everyone doing? I hope you are all doing well. But yeah, transfers today. Let's start with one of the biggest clubs in the world. The team I support is Manchester United. So, Sandro, I mean, you can see him there. Where is he? He's there. Sandro, you can see him there. And, he's a 27-year-old left-back Brazilian from Juventus. We all know him. Whether you play FIFA or you don't, you know he's a good left-back. Previously reported that he would be, Darmian plus cash would be the deal for Sandro, pretty much. Around 43.7 mil plus Darmian was reportedly the deal that was going to happen in exchange for Sandro. But today, there was, in fact, an update on that. How credible it is, we'll have to work that out with me and you. But Graham Bailey reported today that Anthony Martial may be included in that Sandro deal. Now, as a Manchester United fan myself, I'd be absolutely gutted if that was the case. I do personally think he will go. But like Wesley, he said Martial must stay. He's an essential player to Manchester United. And if Jose can just turn that switch in himself and get the best out of Anthony Martial, you're really going to see Manchester United come to life. So I personally don't think it's a good idea to include Martial in this deal. But I would very much like Sandro to end up at United. We've seen Ashley Young, we've seen Luke Shaw underperform or not perform very well for Manchester United at left-back. I think that's Manchester United's main weak spot along with the midfield. If Jose's not keen on keeping Luke Shaw and for me, Ashley Young's not good enough, then I would say get in Sandro. He's not had the best of seasons, and he's not been included into the World Cup squad, which means we could get the deal done early. But yeah, like I said, he's not had the best of seasons, but he's still a top-class left-back and would slot into any team in the world, I think. I really do think that. I'm going to get to your comments about that deal. Sandro is a box-to-box wide man. Well, he's not. He's a left-back, pal. Get rid of Martial. Richard, get in your comments. Do you guys want to see Martial stay or go? If you support United, tell me whether you think it's a good deal, this Sandro deal, with the Martial inclusion, or it's a bad one. If you don't support United, I want to hear your opinions as well, because you're all equally as welcome. We've got Roy Keane here, sure it's the real one, saying Martial is crap for both France and United. Prove it's not Jose's fault. My argument with that, you're entitled to your opinion, mate. But my opinion on that is the fact that he doesn't play for France, and when he does play for United, it's off the bench. And we've seen he's no doubt a confidence player, Martial, and there's only so many times you can left out the starting lineup before your confidence starts to get knocked. And once your confidence starts to go, as one of those types of players, your performances are going to plummet as well. So that's my opinion on him. Disease Gaming says Martial has to stay. Mike York says nice show, Sandro. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate it. We're trying to hit 30,000 subscribers before the Champions League final, before the World Cup, pretty much. So if you haven't already and you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Get involved. There's going to be so much content coming up, and I'm excited, so should you be. Nathan is a Spurs fan. He says Martial wants to move to Tottenham. I'm not sure he would start ahead of Son, though. I'm not sure he wants to move to Spurs, though. I'm not sure how true that is, pal, but we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Chronic thigh, this Martial is great, but he creates divide, and he has to go for all parties involved. I'm not quite sure what you mean about that end part of your sentence there, but I just think Martial's a fantastic player. I really do. Unlike I'd say Rashford, Martial's got that technical ability to allow the ball to stick to his feet. Do you know what I mean? Rashford knocks it in runs. For me, he's almost a pace merchant. Whereas Martial, he's got the ability. He allows the ball to stick to his feet. Wherever he goes, the ball goes. He's got fantastic skillage. Isn't that an African bum disease? Anyway, I think he's a fantastic player, Martial, put it that way. Vahib says, swap Martial for Griezmann. And the last comment I'm going to read out is Panman saying, who are you talking about, Sandro? We're talking about, if you are just joining now, we're talking about Alex Sandro. Previously reported that Darmian plus £43.7 million was going to be the deal. But today, Graham Bailey has come out and reported that Martial, alongside Darmian, might be included into this deal. So, we'll have to wait and see. I'm not happy with that as a United fan. But, let's move on. We can talk about it at the end of the show as well. Talking to Manchester United, a former player, a Manchester United legend, almost. It's a big statement. Wayne Rooney was reported to... the deal to DC United was all but done, apparently. A £12 million fee had been agreed, and he was on his way. He was off to the United States of America to see old Jared, wasn't he? But since Sam Allardyce leaving the club, there has been reports that Wayne Rooney now wants to stay, and that Sam Allardyce was actually the main factor in Rooney wanting to leave his boyhood club. So, I don't think we have to talk about that too much. I think it'd be nice to see Rooney retire at Everton. I don't think Rooney can do it. I don't think he should start for Everton anymore. I think his decline has been so emphatic. It's been so rapid. It really has been a downward spiral for Rooney over the last 4 or 5 years, which it's sad to see. But when you're playing from 16 on and you don't take care of your physical condition, that's what's going to happen. Andreas Skov Olesen says, of course, Rooney is a legend. Let's talk about Rooney then quickly. We've got these players to come as well, so stay tuned if you're getting a bit bored. Just stay tuned. We've got all this to come. But Rooney, do you guys think he's good enough for Everton anymore? Do you think he can start? Do you think it's a wise move to stay? Do you think he'll go to DC United, or do you think he'll stay? I want to hear it all in the comments. This is all about interaction. I'm going to be talking to you guys throughout. Pankaj says maybe Rooney should be manager for Everton. Rooney's a great player, but he doesn't come across with the most intelligent of players, of people. So, if I was an Everton fan, I wouldn't want him. Marco Silva, that's a bit of transfer news. There's rumours that Marco Silva is going to be the next Everton manager. Obviously, heavily linked before his sacking at Hull to be going to Everton. It didn't happen. He got sacked from Hull, and they appointed Sam Allardyce. But I do think. What's his name? Marco Silva will be the Everton manager. Keshav says, Sam played Rooney too defensive and Rooney has a good season because in the first half of the season he scored more than 10 goals. Then Sam came and he played too defensive. Well, I haven't, admittedly watched Everton too much, but I'll take your word for it, pal. So, what was his name? Keshav, claiming that, you are right in terms of that he had a good start to the season. I remember him scoring against Manchester City very early on. And Keshav claims that Sam Allardyce, since he came in, he's been playing him too defensively and that he's not been given the freedom to express himself and therefore he's not been thriving in Sam Allardyce's system. Rooney needs to go to LA Galaxy with Zlatan. That's from T-Dog MN. He was going to go to DC United, so he's never going to go to LA Galaxy. But if he was to move to the USA, it would have been DC United. Moving on, though, let's move on, chaps, from Wayne Rooney. Arsenal, let's move on to Arsenal. Obviously, Arsene Wenger no longer at the club after 22 years in charge. Big shock for the club. It is a big shock for the club, but they look to improve their squad, specifically in one area, which I think we can all agree on, we can all come up with, essentially. It's defence. They've got a bad defence, and they need to improve their defensive position. So, this is Arsenal we're talking about, they were in for Kalgar Soyunal. I butchered that, but I presume that's how you pronounce it, from Freiburg. But Arsenal were actually put off with £35 million asking price. So they've moved on. They've gone, you know what? What's his name? Soyungal. Son Yunol. We're not having you. You're not worth 35 million. We're moving on. So they've gone to Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, getting Aubameyang from them in January, of course. Fantastic signing for them. But they've gone to Dortmund and they've gone, look, we need a defender and we want that one. That defender just so happens to be Sokratis, as you see just there. I'm not going to pronounce his whole name because I'm going to absolutely butcher that one. But they have gone in for the 29-year-old. Rumoured fee of £17.5 million has been rumoured and reported. What do you guys think? I'm going to throw that to you guys instantly. Do you guys think that would be a good signing? He's a well-experienced international with Greece, and he's got a lot of experience with Borussia Dortmund, but he is getting on a little bit. I want to know your opinions on Sokratis to Arsenal. Do you think it's a good deal? And do you think it's going to happen? Get your comments in. I've got them there. The Dictator says Arteta is in advanced talks to become Arsenal manager. Whilst I wait for your comments on Sokratis to come in, I will touch on that Arteta rumour. Basically, Arteta rumoured, reported to be having talks with Arsenal today about the potential manager's job. It's a risk. People say, it's like Manchester United appointing Giggs or Roy Keane. It's not. No, it's not. It really isn't. It's like United appointing bloody Johnny Evans. He's not an Arsenal legend. Do you know what I mean? The equivalent of Giggs and, let's say, Beckham, or I don't know, is Thierry Henry and Patrick Vieira, not Mikel Arteta. He's not. So it's going to be a risk 100%. But whether it will come off or not, I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. Yes, as Panman says, that is cheap in today's market. He's referring to the £17.5 million reported fee for Sokratis. Why would Sokratis go to Arsenal? Well, he could, they might be selling him a sort of a project, and they might be Arsenal. They might be saying, look, if you come in, you're going to be our rock. You're going to be the person to really secure that defence. Because, in fairness, Arsenal do have good strike force, don't they? Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan, Özil, Lacazette. These aren't bad players. These are very good players. So if they can just strengthen that defence and a little bit in the midfield, you're really going to see Arsenal kick on. So that might be the project they're selling him. He's ageing. Alex says he's ageing. This is in reference to Sokratis to Arsenal. He's ageing. It's short term. They should be bold and go for Umtiti. Well, firstly, it's the question, can Arsenal actually get Umtiti? The answer to that is no. Secondly, I think Arsenal need, let me know what you guys think, but I think Arsenal really do need that experienced leader, figurehead of the defence. You can get these, they've got the young players in, Mavropanos and Chambers. They need to get a really experienced, dominating centre-back who can lead the team and be very, very solid for them. So that age wouldn't worry me. It is short-term, but I think that's what they need in the short term. I think they've got a few younger players coming through. So in my opinion, what's his name? Sokratis to Arsenal would be a good move. And for that price as well, it would do them very nicely. On the terms, on the, there we go. It's Coke. Is this Coke? It makes you burp. Talking about Arsenal, they obviously have to strengthen their defensive region. Sounds a bit wrong there. Anyway, defensive region. So once again, they've gone in for Johnny Evans. West Brom, of course, did go down this season. Johnny Evans, 30 years of age, ex-Manchester United player. Look, I don't think it's a good deal. I really don't. He has got a release clause, or he has got a clause in his contract, Johnny Evans, that if West Brom did go down, which they now have, Johnny Evans could leave to any club for £3 million. So, look, they'd be getting him on the cheap. He is Premier League experience. He wouldn't set the world alight, but I mean, I guess, like I said, if you're looking for that leadership and that Premier League experience, you might be going for Johnny Evans. But in my opinion, personally, it would be a horrible move. Manchester City, obviously, last summer linked with him as well. What do you guys think? Johnny Evans to Arsenal, bad move or good move? I've got your comments here. I want to know what you think. Reeve says they've got Koscielny for experience. The thing is, Reeve, with Koscielny, who obviously got injured in the Europa League semi-finals, Achilles rupture it was, which will not only put him out for about, I think it was about 6-7 months. Obviously, the development will be reassessed once it is ongoing. But it's rumoured that he's going to be out for about 6-7 months. He's getting on as well. Not only has he looked poor this season, he's getting on in terms of age, but that Achilles rupture, whether you can come back from that, it is I mean, that's very difficult to do. So even if he does come back from the injury, I'm not sure Koscielny would be the level that he was at before. Carl Thompson says, Johnny Evans would be a fantastic signing for any established mid-table club. You got me there, mate. You got me there. I thought, fantastic signing, Carl. I think you usually chat sense. But, yeah, mid-table club. I know he's having a bit of banter there. But, yeah, Johnny, bad move, but would be good in reserve. Yeah, Chronic, that might be a good suggestion as well. He said Johnny Evans would be good in the reserves. He might be just being brought in for that, for a backup. And they maybe bring a few other players in, and Johnny Evans would be there as a backup. That might be the case as well. Lukaku, the GOAT, believes that it's never going to happen, so we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I think that's enough on Johnny Evans and Arsenal, I think. Moving on to Manchester City. First, let's touch on the breaking news. There is breaking news that's come out in the last hour or so that Pep Guardiola has signed a contract for until 2021. Look, we've seen him leave after 3 or 4 years at every club he's been to. Let's hope, as a United fan, he does the same at City. But it's scary, isn't it? It's scary as a United fan. Not only do Manchester City have a fantastic team now, but they're all young as well. They're all early 20s. So, going forward, the potential in that side is scary. But yeah, like I said, breaking news, Pep Guardiola has signed a contract that will keep him at the club until 2021. What do you guys think? I want to know about your opinions on Pep Guardiola signing that new contract. Are you worried if you're a United fan? Are you happy? If you're a City fan, get in the comments. I want to know your opinion. Moving on now, staying on Manchester City, but in terms of their other transfer dealings, Pep Guardiola was on Monday Night Football with Gary Neville and some other presenter that will be taking over his role in a few years' time. Anyway, he was on Monday Night Football with Gary Neville, and he was asked about the transfer happenings and transfer action this summer. And he said, look, we don't have 350 million to spend every summer. So it's clear that, from Pep Guardiola, that they're not going to be spending big. So he said they're going to sign 2 players. One to replace Yaya Toure, as Yaya Toure has obviously left the club, and one to replace, he didn't say to replace, but he said they're going to bring a striker in. Now, this for me is very telling. Sergio Aguero has been rumoured to be out of the door since Pep Guardiola's come in, really. He's been rumoured to not be in Pep Guardiola's good books, and yeah, he's a good striker, but Pep Guardiola's always had his eyes elsewhere, whether it be Gabriel Jesus or a player from another club. So I think they'll bring in a midfielder, which we'll touch on in a minute, and a striker to replace Sergio Aguero. Do you guys think that Sergio Aguero will leave Manchester City this summer? I'm happy to hear your opinions. I think he will, but get in the comments. I want to hear your opinions on that. Now, the player that I think is pretty much a done deal, we can all say, to replace Yaya Toure is Jorginho from Napoli, 26 years of age. His agent has come out and said that if Manchester City and Jorginho himself Napoli can agree on a transfer fee, that the transfer will go through. I think it's a good deal for Manchester City, and I don't think they need too much strengthening in every area. I think they've got, like I said, a good team. It's not aging. And Yaya Toure's gone. It's good to tweak it here and there, but I don't think they need another 350 million overhaul whatsoever. Aguero is not leaving. That's from Ikara. It's interesting. Solomon disagrees, though. He says, I think Aguero will leave only if Manchester City buy another striker. Well, Solomon, if you are just joining, Monday Night Football, Pep Guardiola was on it with Gary Neville, and he said that he was going to bring in Definitely a midfielder, which we have discussed, and we think it's going to be Jorginho. And he says that he wants to bring in a striker as well. Therefore, I believe that Aguero will be out the door. Rhymes that, doesn't it? Nice. Interesting. He says Aguero is not going anywhere. Pep will buy a wide forward, not a centre forward. Of course, he could be, talking about a sort of winger and not a striker per se, but I don't think that will be the case because they've got Sterling and Sane on either side. So personally, I disagree with that, mate. And the final comment on Aguero is from Lamia. He said, Aguero might leave. Another striker and mid is all they need. They already stacked anyway. They already stacked anyway. You spelled stacked wrong, but we'll go with it. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what he's going to bring in. Killface says, who is this weirdo? Oh, he was just joking. But if you are new to the channel, guys, I am Sandro. I know I'm not Mark. I'm not Mark. I've still got learning to do. But welcome to the channel. We're on 29,549 subscribers. We're trying to hit 30,000 subscribers before the World Cup begins, which is on the 14th of June. So, get involved. Drop a like on the video as well. This is my first daily transfer show. I'm going to be with you every single night from 7:30 English time. Yes, Jared, English time, British time, until, well, whatever time we go on to. We can go on as long as we want. We've got each other to spend time with. So get involved, have your say, and yeah, have a bit of banter. That's all I'll say. So, well, moving on now. I said we've got a lot to talk about, but I mean, when I said I do, we do. Chelsea. Talk about Chelsea, right? It's a bloody good... They've got a good chant, don't they? Chelsea. It's not a very good chant, is it? It's not very lyrically good. Anyway, Chelsea transfers. Hazard. Obviously, Hazard is one of Chelsea's best players, if not their best player. You can see Hazard in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And now, he has actually come out and said that he is going to wait and see what Chelsea's transfer business is going to be like before deciding his future. Now, Chelsea's transfer business this season and in the summer, last summer as well, hasn't been very good, has it? They bought in Morata, flopped. Drinkwater, not a very good player. He's a decent mid-table player, but other than that, any higher than that, and he's stretching. Barkley, they bought in Giroud. Yeah, he's all right, but you know what I mean? He's not set the world alight either. So, I don't blame Hazard for waiting to see about what they're going to do in the transfer window. I haven't seen they've been linked to many. The manager's job is a different story. There has been a lot going on in the manager's position for Chelsea, but player-wise, I don't know. I haven't seen them linked to many people, if I'm honest. And with the uncertainty with the manager, that doesn't help either. Barney, sorry if I butchered that, said Chelsea will come back stronger. We'll have to wait and see. That is something Chelsea do, though, isn't it? They do fantastically well, win the league, sack the manager, have a poor season, sack the manager, then do brilliantly next season as well. So, you might be right. That cycle might continue, but we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Morata out to Juventus. That's true. I said I hadn't heard anything about incomings for Chelsea, but I have heard about outgoings for Chelsea. Morata, as you say, David, has been heavily linked to Juventus. Obviously, he played there when he was on loan from Real Madrid. He's not set the world alight for Chelsea. He started off very, very well for them, but since maybe November, it's been a downhill from there, hasn't he? His confidence is gone. Maybe he needs his second season to settle in. We'll have to wait and see. But he has been linked to go back to his former club, Juventus, where he did do very, very well indeed. Liverpool are the dark horse at the moment, says the dictator. Well, we'll get onto Liverpool in a little while. But Hazard is getting tired of carrying Chelsea's forward line, and to be honest, I don't blame him. That's from Red Devil Weekly. Yeah, I think, Willian is another one rumoured to go to United. I think we all know what the situation is there. But look, I think Hazard will go. I think who he will go to, I'm not sure. There's been rumours. I've heard, not rumours, but I've heard a couple of you suggest it, that Neymar will go to Real Madrid and that Hazard will go to PSG. So that might be something you might see. I've actually had, I can't say too much, but I have had a strong word from a close source that Real Madrid are interested in Neymar, in fact. So trust me, it's a very, very good source. And so it wouldn't surprise me if we did see some movement from Neymar to Real Madrid. But talk about the players for Chelsea. Now let's talk about the manager. Antonio Conte, at the beginning of the season, said we don't want to have another Jose Mourinho season. Well, Mr. Conte, look what's happened, pal. He's not done very well, hasn't he? Their season is sort of, it's just done that, hasn't it? It's just done that, and it's their fifth, no Champions League football, FA Cup final on Saturday, but I'm hoping, obviously as a United fan, for a United win, and I do see that happening as well. So, Manchester Skull says, I can't see a top manager wanting to go to Chelsea anymore, even winning a title. The sack is possible the following season. That is true, but contrary to that opinion, Matteo Sarri was a manager heavily linked to Chelsea, but he's actually come out and said that he's staying at Napoli. Therefore, Luis Enrique, obviously the treble-winning manager, is it 2015 with Barcelona, is getting his hopes up that he is actually going to land the Chelsea job. Now, I want to get your opinion on this. Would this be a good deal for Chelsea and for what's he called? Luis Enrique. Sorry, not Jose Enrique. Luis Enrique. Let me know. Luis Enrique, do you think that's a good signing for Chelsea? I want to know your opinion. Obviously won the treble with Barcelona, and obviously it's a fantastic achievement, but that was a side with Neymar, Suarez and Messi. You know, you've got Drinkwater, Barkley and Emerson at Chelsea, don't you? So it's not quite the same. The sack is guaranteed at Chelsea. That's true. Who will get the Arsenal job? We've touched on that, mate. I can touch on it at the end if you want. Just the comment, nothing. Anyway, Jose made Chelsea. Conte is just another flash in the pan. That is also correct. I can't see Enrique going to Chelsea. Little input of transfers. Sack is always looming. So a lot of you are saying that the sack is always... you're saying that the Luis... Why do I keep saying Jose Enrique? Luis Enrique would be put off by the potential sack that is always there. Not the Christmas sack, not the sack. Anyway. No, Luis Enrique will flop. This is a different one. This is from Kevin. No, Luis Enrique will flop. Why? Because he had the best players at Barca, and Chelsea is like a mid-table team at the moment, especially if Hazard goes, which I think is definitely an option. Lamia Seed says Enrique is a bit overrated. It will be interesting to see how good he is at Chelsea. It would indeed. Yes, here we go. Here's Peter Doyle says Pochettino is being linked to Chelsea according to TalkSport this morning. Well, I have actually read, that Poch is going to have one more year at Spurs, despite the heavy links to Chelsea. So I don't see Poch going to Chelsea, if I'm honest. I think that was some sort of smoke screen, potentially for Luis Enrique, I don't know. But I've read that, and it's been reported that Mauricio Pochettino will be having one more year at Spurs, and then he'll reassess it from there. Simeone will be Chelsea's next manager. Just you wait until La Liga wraps up. Interesting opinion there from Carl Thompson. But I mean that's all I've got. Get in your comments, lads. There's a few other things we can talk about. Yeah, here we go. Me and Jared last night were talking about Jan. Obviously, we were watching. Was that last night? I think it was last night, wasn't it? I think it was last night. What's the date today? I don't know. Friday, Thursday. No, it was 2 days ago, I think. Me and Jared were talking about... the Europa League final. We were watching Atletico Madrid live here, doing a watch-along. And it was rumoured... Well, we were just talking about potentially Jan Oblak going to Liverpool. And I've got it here. Liverpool target Jan Oblak has stated he's happy at Atletico Madrid, but does not know whether he'll be staying at the club this summer, suggesting the final decision regarding his future will not be up to him. Very interesting. What do you guys make of that? Jan Oblak coming out, the Atletico Madrid goalkeeper, of course, coming out and stating that he's happy at Atletico Madrid, but the decision whether he'll stay there or not is not up to him. What's that down to? Potentially, maybe the agent or some other transfer? I don't know. I don't know. I think if he did go there, Oblak, I really do think that'd be a fantastic deal for him. I really do. For Liverpool, sorry. I said yesterday that if they got maybe a centre back, and they're obviously bringing in Naby Keita and a goalkeeper, that you're going to really see Liverpool come on leaps and bounds, because their goalkeeper at the moment isn't very good, and they got to the Champions League final. So you can imagine them with a decent goalkeeper like Jan Oblak. Manchester Skull says Oblak has a 90 million release clause. He is worth that fee. Very few clubs can pay that for a goalkeeper, but Manchester Skull, I think Liverpool can. As Jared quite rightly pointed out the other day, in the summer, they wanted Van Dijk. They didn't get him. They didn't spend big after that. I don't think they brought in anyone after that, right? So that was £70 million at least they had banked for Van Dijk. So they got that £75 million, right? Then they sell Philippe Coutinho to Barcelona for £120 million. So what's that now? That's coming up to, £195 million? They've got £195 million to spend. So yes, it's expensive, 90 million release clause for a goalkeeper. But is he worth it? Is he not? I'm not sure. I'll throw that to you guys. Is Jan Oblak, think about Liverpool's position here and the money they've got. Is Jan Oblak worth £90 million? Go. Answer that. I want to know. I don't want to know. No. Who's taking you? Oh. Sorry, he's waiting for Conte's sack. Get your facts right, biased channel. Right, sorry, mate. I mean, that might be the case. I never said that it was 100% the case, but I just read that it was. He's come out and said that he's happy at Napoli, and therefore Luis Enrique has been rumoured to be eyeing up the Chelsea job. So, Jesus Christ, mate, calm down. No, he's not worth 90 million. He's not worth 90 million from one Liverpool. Hello, Sandro, mate. Jorge. Oh, that is Jorge Garcia. How you doing, pal? Welcome, mate. Jorge, it's a lovely little segue there. Obviously, Jorge, you know him. He's been on the channel a few times. Talking of Jan Oblak at Atletico Madrid, another player, one of their best players, Atletico Madrid, that's been rumoured to be leaving the club is, of course, Antoine Griezmann. Rumoured to be going to Barcelona. But Atletico Madrid have offered him a contract that will go up to 20 million euros a year. They're not going to stand in his way. That is reported that they're not going to stand in Griezmann's way if he does want to leave, due to the loyalty that Griezmann showed Atletico Madrid last summer when they got a transfer ban. But if he did want to stay, there's 20 million euros on the line there. I think he will go. I don't think he'll go to England. As Jared once again quite rightly said, he's moaned about the weather way too much to be going to England, to the rain of Manchester, and I do think he'll go to Barcelona. I think that's about it, lads. De Gea is only worth that. That's the 90 million. That's from Nadeem. What's the latest on the Arsenal managerial rumour? That's from John. John, the rumours are that, the latest is that today Arsenal held talks with Mikel Arteta over the job. But there's also rumours that they're going to hold talks with Thierry Henry and Patrick Vieira in the coming days. So it's still rather, it's still out there. We're not quite sure. But as Mark says, end it. I'm going live. All right, Mark, I will, mate. I will. But yeah, there we go. Thanks everyone for watching. Head over to the United stand now. Just go over there. I don't know what Mark's doing, but I'm sure it will be decent. So we'll head over there. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you tomorrow at this time exactly. And, thanks everyone. And I'll speak to you all soon.